Jesus. What's up, Documenteerians? Bob Sham here to give you another pre-episode intro. I think these will just come in a limited capacity until we get through the co-host by co-host themes and what they represent. This episode, of course, being with my friend Drew, who hosts the show WXNA's Walk It Off on local Nashville freeform radio. Go check that out on, I believe it's WXNA.org or WXNAradio.org. Also, to serve as some pre-apologies, I thought the Atlanta Thrashers won a cup, and I was incorrect. I think I was getting them confused with the Carolina Hurricanes, who are in Raleigh, who I thought were in Charlotte. And they were champs in 2005, a few years after they came down from Hartford. And at the time of this recording, it was up in the air whether Nashville was going to get a Major League Soccer team. As it turns out, yes, we are. We do talk a bit about sports. Drew is a sports fan. Our goal, he and I, for our episodes are to discuss sports movies, most notably the 30 for 30 series, plus several more that we have planned for you. Also, some apologies for some audio glitches, which definitely happened in this episode and maybe in the next couple. On my path to perfection, I appreciate your forgiveness. We are going to bloom like butterflies, popping out that cocoon. What is it on the wings of those fresh butterflies? Yes, it's Werner Herzog's face, all right? All right, stay sweet.
Now, here is a motion picture film. 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs. Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel.
Peter called me, and he had said, Bruce, if you're really serious about Gretzky, let's talk.
I always edit out the first initial chunk, so tell me what you want.
But that's what's fun, the bullshit.
Yeah.
When you're just kind of introducing each other and being like, oh, hey, this is somebody I know, and let's get to know each other again. Hey, what you been up to, buddy?
What's up, dogs? That's our catchphrase for the show. That's docs with an X, not a CS. That should help us not get sued as much. Welcome to Documenteers. Yay! Woo! Now, our first episode, you heard Stewart. He's my main on this podcast. But there's many varieties of documentaries. And so I bring in people I know who would provide an expertise upon certain subject matter. My wife and I will be talking more about true crime-driven documentaries, but we will be talking about sports documentaries with
Drew Wilson.
WXNA DJ Drew Wilson, host of Walk It Off and Loud Love Sundays. Both those shows start at 11 Central Time to 1 in the morning.
You got it. You forgot a couple of my titles in there, but
Esquire.
It's all right. Esquire, writer, producer, mostly just talk about sports and other stuff on the radio.
You're a big sports guy. You host a sports show on Freeform Nashville WXNA.
Which basically makes me an expert in the field.
You do know a lot, though. And I'm kind of a sports guy, too. You let me sub in when your regular co-host, Dave, is out. And sorry about that last episode. I should have taken notes. Notes makes all the difference.
It's all right. We fight through.
Yeah.
We have a good time. That's the point.
But you do know a lot about sports, and especially I feel like I'm a maybe slightly above average fan, and that's just kind of recently. I love our local Nashville Predators. I love the Titans as much as that breaks my heart often.
Not a good day for that.
Nashville's going to get an MLS team too, apparently, right?
Hopefully soon. They already have the soccer team. They're just waiting for the Approval, getting them into the MLS, pumping them up.
I bet it'll happen.
It looks like it. They got the stadium now. Approval for that was the big thing. And a little taxpayer scam, get a stadium built over there.
Gosh, we're going to be discussing the 30 for 30 films, those documentaries. I'm a big fan of that series. Bill Simmons, founder of Grantland. Grantland is like like if NPR met your local sports talk radio. He had the idea. He said it to, like, I guess ESPN producers, and they ran with it and gathered up all these like sports films and ran for documentaries. A lot of them about an hour, hour and a half, some are longer, but they were fantastic, and it represented the 30th anniversary of ESPN.
I actually forgot about that at the beginning because 30 for 30s have become such a part of the sports fan's life right now.
Yeah.
They're known for being these really excellent short-form sports documentaries that kind of tell a story that you might not have known the details about before. They get the players in there. They get good people to, kind of give their point of view of what exactly was happening at that time. But it's become such a part of our life as a sports fan. I forgot that it was originally supposed to be just 30 of them. It's the name.
Already we're starting to watch these 30 for 30 again. I saw a lot of the early ones already, and it's been I'm really excited to actually go through them again. But you mentioned like tax havens for sports team owners, and very quickly I realized that we are already seeing a lot of that. These weird sports team owners off the top of the bat in like these first couple that we're going to do.
You can see that right off the bat that it's a business. You don't like to think about that as a sports fan, but you see that business end, and somebody's got to get the shaft for somebody to make money.
These billionaires, they want a new stadium, and they don't want to pay for it. But a lot of these fans, especially in these long-time markets, are going to be like, hey, I want the Eagles need a new stadium.
It happens. We just saw NFL franchises move, 3 of them, because they couldn't get enough money out of the taxpayers of their local communities to build new stadiums for them. And they used the threat of another city coming through with bushels of money, hopefully in cartoony sacks with dollar signs on them.
And, of course, you're talking about all the California teams shuffling about, right? The Rams.
Rams live in St. Louis. Raiders live in Oakland.
The Chargers going to L.A. and barely having a fan base in their new area.
They have no fan base. They're playing in a soccer stadium right now. That's what you get for not giving us a new stadium, San Diego.
And I think L.A. is really getting up with the Rams. They're doing pretty good this year. They're looking like a team that can. What is this? Walk it off? Are we on your sports show right now?
Stop talking about current events in sports world.
No, we are talking about sports documentaries. We are going through all of the 30 for 30 in release order. Our first one is we watched King's Ransom, directed by Peter Berg. This is the story of the big trade that Wayne Gretzky from the Edmonton Oilers to the Los Angeles Kings, and how that affected both towns and how that affected Wayne Gretzky.
And an entire country.
It's probably, this is probably still one of the biggest trades of all time because it involved the greatest, to date, the greatest hockey player that ever played the game.
Maybe some Yinzers in Pittsburgh will argue that with you. Maybe some Detroit people, but not too many. Wayne Gretzky, the best hockey player ever. Pretty much a fact at this point.
No, I'm a big hockey fan. You grew up in Long Beach, Long Island, so you're an Islanders fan from way back since you were a young man.
Oh, yeah.
But I was watching this, I was like, I love hockey now, so I was thinking like, it would have been great to be a hockey fan in the 80s. Thinking back as a boy growing up in rural Tennessee, that was not an option.
Part of this documentary is how it legitimized not just the northern teams in the USA having hockey teams.
Los Angeles was pretty much a big testing ground. I mean, if it wasn't for that organization, it's hard to say how much that would have expanded throughout the United States.
And there was a lot of hate for that early on. People laughed when Nashville got a team. People laughed when the Atlanta Thrashers became a team. That one didn't work out.
No.
But Nashville's one of the jewels of the NHL right now.
And that's so awkward that it didn't work out for Atlanta because they won a cup. They won a cup in like their first or second year.
Did the Thrashers win a cup?
I think they did.
Not remembering that one. You talking about the Ilya Kovalchuk, Denny Heatley Thrashers?
I don't know if they won it with Heatley. We did research. We just didn't do this research.
You didn't tell me you were going to bring this up.
Sorry, it just goes all over the map. But yeah, I'm such a giant Nashville Predators fan, I couldn't imagine them not being here. And of course, they're already talking about how the stadium needs to be updated and stuff. And it's like,
That's a nice stadium.
Come on. Yeah, it's a fine stadium.
Growing up as an Islanders fan, I was going to games at the Nassau Coliseum. I thought that's what hockey stadiums looked like. When I moved to Nashville about going on 11 years now, first Preds game I went to, this place is gorgeous. This is like a real arena.
Well, fortunately for you, there is an Islanders 30 for 30 a little down the road.
Oh, spoilers.
Uh-oh. What are we going to say about that one? I wonder how Drew's going to feel about that one.
I like the Islanders.
Actually, remembering what that one is about, I think you're going to have some pretty intense emotions regarding it.
Might cry.
Yeah, you just might.
Is it about how shitty a stadium the Coliseum was? No, I'm serious. There's one level, one concourse. It's round. It goes around the whole building, and that's it.
I've heard legends of this stadium, and our Long Island listeners will know exactly what you're talking about.
But that's part of the charm, too, because when you got a small stadium like that that's just round and enclosed, it gets so loud. Everybody's close to the ice. Now we know Smashville Predators have pretty much the best home ice advantage in sports.
Yes.
People were crazy about that in the playoffs. We heard basically every visiting team, every announcer, sideline guy, just going over there. I can't believe how loud Nashville is.
Charles Barkley showing up. Hey, I love the Predators.
Titans offensive line sitting there shirtless with catfish pounding beers.
Boy, we had a lot of fun last summer, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Except for that last game.
But we're talking about the 80s.
The 80s, King's Ransom. When I saw this the first time, I was a little surprised. I didn't feel like I cared for it too much. I got this pet peeve. And now, our rating system isn't Herzog, so obviously this might seem like a contradiction. I often do not like it when documentary filmmakers inject themselves into the movie. Now, yes, we have this revolutionary Werner Herzog rating system, 1 through 5 Herzogs. And you're thinking, that's what Werner Herzog does. All of his movies are about him interpreting everything that he's looking at. But Werner is such a prolific personality that he gets away with it. I don't know if Peter Berg gets away with it as much as maybe he wants to. That he has apparently been friends with Wayne Gretzky since the early 90s. They got together and they did a celebrity softball game where they met. Peter Berg was talking about how he threw a guy out and everyone booed him. And the guy he threw out turned out to be Gordie Howe. And then I guess...
He's lucky he didn't fight him.
Yeah, get a Gordie Howe hat trick at that celebrity softball game.
That's what I'd like to see. I want to see the 30 for 30 on that one. Gordie Howe just beating the hell out of Peter Berg at a celebrity softball game.
I know. Peter Berg, if you're listening, we don't really have anything against you, but we do think it would be funny to watch Gordie Howe kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, that sums it up right there.
But I guess Wayne Gretzky thought that was funny to befriended Peter Berg, golfing buddies, I guess, ever since.
I was kind of confused that the 30 for 30 on King's Ransom was half shot on a golf course.
And there was so much, there's a foreboding intro, so much slow motion at the beginning of this. A bunch of circular stadium shots in slow motion. When I was recollecting this from the first time I watched it, it's like half slow motion. And it was really about like the first 15 minutes. Maybe Peter Berg was just trying to fill out an hour here. I don't know.
It did feel like there was a lot of filler in there. I will say, spoiler for the rating later, this is not one of my favorite 30 for 30s. I get that vibe, especially early on in it. It's kind of Lifetime original movie in there. There's a lot of soft music, soft focus shots.
In the very beginning, there was a very dramatic shot of a pool of what I assume is melted ice.
Oh, no, those were the tears of Canadians.
The tears of Canadians. They keep them. They kept them.
That's how they introduced him in L.A., just on this
and Gretzky's like Escalade or whatever the hell he was in. His slow motion shot coming in. Is it a Dutch angle when you're like down at the corner and you're shooting up? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like
you're the film expert here.
Oh, am I?
I'm just here for sports.
It was corny. It's going to be a word I use a lot discussing documentaries. That shit was corny.
I really liked the very, very beginning of this, too, because, again, this is the very first 30 for 30 they ever made.
Yeah.
That intro was so quaint, almost. It felt like it was made decades ago. And not just a few years.
Oh, Peter Berg also directed Battleship.
Classic American film.
So for the rest of this podcast, we're going to reference him as Battleship director Peter Berg.
And Wayne Gretzky's friend.
And Wayne Gretzky's friend, Battleship director Peter Berg. Cut to Edmonton. I love L.A. Don't you love that song?
So much. Second to New York State of Mind.
But there's some buzz in Edmonton around, what year is this, 84, right? They had just won. It was 88. That's when the trade day happened. They started winning cups in 84. And the Edmonton Oilers, they won 4 Stanley Cups in 5 years. Is that right?
Yeah, that was it. 4 and 5 years leading up to this deal.
Now, as much as I didn't know shit about hockey when I was a kid, everyone knew who Wayne Gretzky was and Mario Lemieux. Those were the names that everyone knew. So it wasn't, I don't remember this particularly, but everyone, even a dumb country kid, knew who Wayne Gretzky was.
The great one.
I just want to compliment Gretzky. He has great fake teeth. I hope to have fake teeth that great someday.
When you're a hockey player, you got 2 choices. You either go with the hockey smile or you get those chiclets implanted.
But there's some buzz in Edmonton. Gretzky's contract is about to come up. They don't know what's going to happen. And Peter Pocklington is making a lot of side promises. Now, this Peter Pocklington guy, we were talking about crooked-ass owners who don't want to put up their own money.
He's wild in this documentary. He's just kind of all over the place.
My reviews of it upped a little bit from the first viewing just because I became hyper-focused on Peter Pocklington. People were like, yeah, he asked for cash. He asked for cash. And he's like, no, I didn't do that. I didn't say that. There's reports of him talking shit about Wayne Gretzky. He's like, no, I'm a consummate professional. Let me just go through these bullet points of Peter Pocklington that, thank you, Wikipedia. So I'm going to go through all
Peter
these.
Pocklington rundown.
The son of an insurance executive, Peter was inspired by motivational speaker Earl Nightingale's book, The Strangest Secret, which I didn't do a lot of research on that book. I can only assume it's the Canadian How to Make Friends and Influence People.
I thought it was the Canadian The Secret.
His early business ventures involved shipping old cars on his grandparents' farm and shipping them to Ontario for more than 20 times what he paid because it was a lot drier out west in Canada. And so those cars were in better shape than all the oversalted cars that had been around in the east. So he figured out real quick that he could turn a big profit of that. He owned a car dealership at 25. At 29, he bought Shirley Ford in Edmonton, the most successful dealership in Canada. Peter bought part ownership of the then upstart WHA team, the Edmonton Oilers. He owned it all within a year. This earned him the nickname Peter Puck. I was misreading that at first. I thought it was like Peter Buck. I was like, why are they calling him Peter Buck? Like he's the guitarist for REM. This marks the second episode where REM gets brought up, by the way.
Are you going to try to make that a running theme?
I think I'm going to find a way to squeeze REM into every podcast.
We also talked about how terrible a nickname Peter Puck is.
Peter Puck, because he owned
Pocklington.
because he bought the Oilers.
Pocklington.
And
There's a lot you could have done there.
the Oilers went on to the NHL, and they did become very successful. A gunman entered Peter's home, intended to kidnap his wife. She escaped, but Peter was held hostage for 11 hours until police snuck into the house and shot both Peter and the gunman. Both survived. The gunman served 5 years and then was deported to his native country of Yugoslavia.
What? Why was that not in the documentary?
Well, I guess
We're focused here on sports.
I wonder if Peter Pocklington has his own doc out there. We'll have to get to that at some point.
This is like a rundown of an interesting, shady businessman.
Yes.
That's exactly what you're going on right now. Oh, I trust a used car salesman and someone who was attempted to be kidnapped by a Yugoslavian.
Canadians, they're a lot more aware of Peter Pocklington. I kind of had to do some research because when I was watching the movie, people were making claims of what he said, and he's contradicting those claims. I'm like, gosh, I don't know what's going on here. I kind of gave Peter the benefit of the doubt. Just 5 minutes of research on the guy, and I'm like, nah, he's crooked as shit. He entered politics on a platform of free trade and privatizing government institutions, and he narrowly lost the first ballot before dropping out.
What ballot was this? Was he going to be the Canadian Prime Minister?
I think he was looking to be, what the hell was he going to be?
Start us at some local level.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go local. Bad U.S. investments caused Peter's California home to be seized. The court ruled him to serve time for fraud. He was exonerated in that claim. A securities fraud conviction ordered him to pay the commission over $5 million in fees. And from the point of the date of the research that I read, he had yet to pay those fees. So this guy probably still owes literally millions of dollars.
Yeah, you want to pay the fee? Yeah, I'll get to it. Whenever I get to it, you'll get your money.
That's Peter Pocklington. Keep those bullet points in mind as we go through and continue to review this. Easily my favorite part of this movie, and probably any of these 30 for 30s, is the classic footage of Gretzky just making history.
What time? Crying at his press conference?
Crying? Well, there was old shots that showed him making his 50th goal, which was an open net.
Okay, that makes sense. I did like the hockey highlights that they threw in there for 10 minutes for no reason.
The player awards, that player awards show music. I don't know if you remember that. That was some real hot shit right there. I wrote in my notes, and this is regarding the golf course shots. Why are you in this shot, Berg?
Every time they had to show that he was just buddies with Wayne Gretzky.
I felt like the only time maybe it seemed remotely appropriate was when Peter asked him how many cups he thought he would have won if he stayed in Edmonton.
That was a great line because he did not win a single cup in LA. When this trade went through, Los Angeles was 20th out of the 21 NHL teams.
Yeah.
We're talking about one of the worst teams being traded to after being on a team that won 4 cups in 5 years.
Yes.
With their supporting cast all still in place.
And even with the great one, they would enter the playoffs and go deep a couple of times, but they never won a cup with Gretzky at the helm.
It was a different time. And again, how many cups he could have won if he stayed in Edmonton? What was his answer there?
I think he said he could have won 4 more cups if he stayed in Edmonton. Edmonton won a cup. I think it's, 1990?
Yeah, they won a cup without him, with Yari Curry leading that team. But that's a strange thing, saying that I could have won 4 or 5 more cups. You feel like the guy interviewing him, even if you're on a golf course with your buddy, would be like, and does that eat at you? Or do you really regret that? It's just kind of like, yeah, I guess you could have. Oh, well.
So the news comes out that Peter Pocklington is going to trade Wayne Gretzky to the Los Angeles Kings. I forget what he was asking for at first, but it ended up being about $15 million and a few picks. It was claimed that Pocklington requested $15 million cash.
What was amazing about this to me is that it seems like he got traded to the Kings for the sole reason that they were the only team with the balls to make an offer for him. Every other team is just like, all right, Wayne Gretzky's untradeable. And Dr. Jerry Buss, who owned the Kings at the first time, the first interaction, was like, hey, I'll give you $15 million cash for Gretzky. He was like, oh, yeah, whatever, I'm not trading Gretzky. But then he kept bringing it up over and over again until Pocklington's like, man, $15 million in cash sounds pretty good.
The other teams were probably like, there's no way he's going to trade Gretzky.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
There weren't even rumors. And again, it wasn't a hockey trade. He sold Gretzky. This is a Babe Ruth sold to the Yankees situation.
Yes.
It's not like he traded Gretzky for a bunch of players who was like, they'll be as good as Gretzky one day, or they're going to help the team more. No, this was a straight-up sell.
Yeah.
This was for money for Peter Pocklington, maybe to help the Oilers survive in Edmonton if you want to be real altruistic about it. But no, he sold the best hockey player in the world to L.A. It was a different owner by the time the trade went through. Dr. Buss lost it. And it was, Bruce McNall?
I think that sounds right.
Who would later go to jail for fraud.
Yes.
As we saw in the nice, cops-esque ending of this documentary.
A lot of fraud in these dudes' line of works here.
But I love the interviews with Bruce McNall. He was one of my favorite parts of this documentary, actually. Every time they cut to him with his no eyes, just sitting in there saying, he said I could get Gretzky. And I was like, I could get Gretzky? Let's do it. I can't believe it actually happened. And it all happened from the conversations that the previous owner had, and Pocklington just letting it marinate and saying, man, I sure would love $15 million in cash.
I think I'd probably trade Wayne Gretzky, too, for $15 million in cash. I love the shots when the rumors are going out. They're talking to the people of Edmonton, and one after the other, they're like, no, he's the greatest. You don't trade away the greatest hockey player. And there's one guy at a bar that's like, yeah, I'd take the money.
Yeah.
I kind of relate to that guy. I hear what he's saying.
But again, you're not a multimillionaire who owns a sports team.
So these rumors are going around. It comes out that there just might be a trade deal. It has to be finalized by Wayne. Peter is trying to justify a lot of things. He's talking to how Wayne Gretzky's a prima donna and that his wife would never come to Edmonton, which I kind of believe that. I mean, she's an actress. And
yeah, they kind of threw her under the bus there, too.
But the thing is, yeah, and I mean, they made her out, of course, Janet Jones, that's her name, Wayne Gretzky's wife. They call her the Yoko Ono of hockey. But Yoko Ono isn't even the Yoko Ono of the Beatles. That band had run its course. It was just time. And Wayne was already, becoming, he said he lived in L.A. most of the time when he wasn't playing hockey. So he was kind of already becoming like an 80s California yuppie anyway.
I wouldn't go quite that far. I mean, he's still, even marrying his L.A. actress wife, they got married in Canada, where it seemed like everybody in Canada was just there at the wedding.
Yeah.
Which is kind of strange. Not how it works today with your celebrity marriages.
But I don't know Janet Jones that well, but I kind of believe that she would not want to. I say that, but they're loaded as hell. They could just hop a plane, and that's it.
Yeah. And I'm also saying here that it wasn't like he gave Wayne Gretzky the chance and had to clear it with him first. I think this was another Peter Pocklington just wanted to have everything both ways. He wanted to make the trade. He didn't want to seem like a bad guy. He wanted to sound like he was giving Wayne the option.
Yeah.
But it's not like he had a no-trade clause. He didn't have to clear it with Gretzky.
That's right.
He basically said he made the trade. And then once they get to the press conference, after the trade was made, there's that whole scene about the plane lands down.
Yeah.
And then they take Wayne aside and say, hey, if you don't want to do this, this is your last chance to get out of it.
Right.
There's no chance there.
No.
Come on. What are you doing?
Well, Wayne said that after he heard rumblings of Peter complaining about him and him talking to his dad, that helped the impetus. If Peter Pocklington wants $15 million, and that's just what it's going to be.
Yeah, it was in the works for years. He was letting this marinate. It wasn't because of Wayne's contract situation or his play on the ice.
Oh, I love how Janet Jones said that Wayne planned the entire wedding.
Where does he do that?
Who does that?
It's just a side hobby of his?
Who wants to do that?
It's a fun fact. Wayne Gretzky really into floral arrangements.
Yeah, he's super into it. He likes banisters and what are those fucking things?
You remember that scene of him just holding up different doilies and being like, "Which one do you like, Janet?"
I want to see the documentary of him planning his own wedding.
I want to watch that one too, and I hope it also stars Mark Messier with hair, because that was one of the weirder parts of this one.
Now, Glenn Sather, the Oilers coach, not fucking happy at all.
He was so mad.
So fucking pissed. And you can't blame him, because he's the coach.
They just won 4 Stanley Cups in 5 years. He's like, "Hey, we're selling off your best player." Oh, okay, what are you getting back for him? Money.
It's his job to make sure that team wins games. There's nothing in his brain that's going to be like, we got to get rid of Gretzky. That would just be like shooting yourself in the leg.
Not to mention, he's supposedly got the title of GM, but the owner's been talking for years with Los Angeles about just selling off Gretzky. And he told Sather once it was actually done. Peter Pocklington really likes to have it a bunch of different ways in this documentary. But it's hard to just see past that straight fact that he got offered $15 million in cash for his star player, thought about it for a little while, and then took it.
Yeah.
That's the bones about it.
Pretty much as simple as that. August 9th, 1988. It's the big day. Wayne Gretzky's walking up to the press conference. There's a guy. I don't recognize that guy, but he had an amazing mullet.
There was a lot of really good hair in this one. You got Canadian hockey hair, 80s hair, nice mustaches around, and again, Mark Messier with hair.
And despite the urging of Canadian Parliament members for the government to intervene on this trade.
I love that part too.
Canada, you don't fuck with Canada's hockey.
The government wanted them to stop the trade from going through. That's just fantastic.
If you want a Canadian city to riot, have them lose a Stanley Cup to a team where the ponds don't freeze.
We've seen that happen now.
Yes.
And we've also seen years when no Canadian teams made the playoffs even.
Canada, thank you so much for bringing this sport to us, my favorite sport. But I smile with glee when Canadians don't win the Stanley Cup.
I don't know, man. I still kind of like it. I still kind of root for those Canadian teams to get it done. You know, there's a lot of love there. Right now, we're seeing another one of those shady ownership situations where the Flames are threatening to leave if they don't fix their stadium up. I don't want to see that anymore.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and we owe Canadians. I feel like I do owe Canadians for the fact that hockey is now here because they made it the North American giant sport that it is.
And hey, they still have the Olympics.
We are considered an out-of-market hockey team here in Nashville with the Predators. So I always have those soft spots for places like Jacksonville, Charlotte, Phoenix. I feel sad for Phoenix fans when it looks like they're going to lose the Coyotes because I understand what that feeling is like. I love hockey forever, and it would just suck if they were gone.
And that happened in Nashville. There were rumors for a while about the team leaving, and there were all those threats if they didn't hit a certain attendance level that would trigger some clause where they could get out of their lease.
And then some dude, I forget the guy's name, in Hamilton, who had already made the claim that he had the Predators, but apparently that guy was yet another lying wannabe sports owner here.
Weird fact, rich people sometimes scumbags.
Gosh, who would have thought? Isn't it depressing that you kind of have to be a sociopath to become extremely successful like that?
Oh, man.
That is really depressing.
All right, can we start another podcast that's just us maniacally hating on people and coming up with scams?
We don't hate all rich people. I know some perfectly fine rich people, but God.
I mean, look, if Nigerian emails work.
It seems like you need to come up with a really good idea and then figure out how to make it stupid. And then somehow that'll work.
Deep thoughts on the Documenteers.
Wayne, he's at this press conference. He cannot hide these emotions. It really was touching to watch him say goodbye to his home, his adopted home. He's Canada's proud son. He's not from Edmonton, but Edmonton is as good a home as any to him, and he's having to say goodbye.
That was a wild press conference, man. It wasn't just a couple tears. I mean, he broke down. He had to stop at what he was saying. He was getting tissues the whole time. And then later in the documentary, you have Peter Pocklington saying, it was probably fake.
What a shithill.
But you say this, and he's such an enemy there, and they just kind of throw in at the beginning of the documentary. Look, Peter Pocklington is the villain of this film.
Yes.
But you've got to remember that Edmonton doesn't even have a hockey team without him.
Yes.
He's the one who bought the AHL team, who brought it up into an NHL team. There's no NHL in Edmonton. So what do you think Pocklington's Canadian legacy is all the time? They didn't really go into this in the documentary, but I wanted to... Is he a hero? Is he a villain? Is he somewhere in between? Some people are cursing his name. Some people are like, but he did some good stuff too.
I think he's probably going to veer more towards the villain side, but the only thing, because this trade is going to be the biggest story of his life. The one where he was held hostage for 11 hours and then shot by, I guess that's the Edmonton police that shot him? I don't know.
That's just a quick little line in the Wikipedia bio. Wait, was this before or after the trade?
I think it was, I don't know.
If it was after, maybe Edmonton police just kind of wanted to shoot him.
Pocklington doesn't want to be the villain, according to what someone else said.
According to him, too, if you're watching the documentary, because there's so much instances of him trying to justify it.
But Pocklington said that he didn't say that he didn't want to be the villain. Every time someone says, Peter said this, Pocklington goes, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about him crying fake tears. That wasn't me.
And then, of course, he did trash, or allegedly, because apparently this guy says a lot of shit. I wouldn't be surprised if he can't keep up with a lot of the bullshit that comes out of his mouth. That day, that trade day in 1988 could also be called Fuck Peter Pocklington Day in Edmonton. I think you could have...
That's a nice holiday.
I think you could have shot the Warriors in Edmonton after that trade announcement.
Just trying to get through all the guys with hockey sticks.
Yeah, I wrote here, post-apocalyptic Edmonton, 1988.
We did see the little burning the effigy. That was a nice shot in the film. But that happens every time people make a trade nowadays. Oh, they signed as a free agent, I'm going to burn his jersey. This was an emotional event for an entire country.
Yes.
And I get mad saying it's a trade, because it wasn't. He sold him off.
If he went to, it wouldn't have been so anti-Canada if he went over to, like, Toronto or something. But no, the fact that he left that country to play in the United States was, a lot of Canadians felt like that was a burn to the entire country.
And Los Angeles, of all places. Like, I can only imagine what people from Edmonton, which is western, more rural Canada, think of Los Angeles.
Gretzky going down to La La Land with his, quote, Hollywood harlot.
Ooh. You're a headline writer for the Inquirer?
Yeah. I think
spare time?
I think someone said that. But so Gretzky is now an LA King. They drew $8K a night and now just about selling out most every game.
That one day, they spent a little bit of time on that first game he played in LA. And that one game, it really did change everything for that franchise, for maybe even American hockey. But just for hockey as a destination event, they kept showing all the celebrities that were in the stands there like it was a Laker game. That never happened to Los Angeles hockey before this.
Yes.
Again, they were almost the worst team in the league before the trade. But you're not seeing celebrities at hockey games. Nobody's panning, who's at courtside?
Well, they showed there was John Candy, a Canadian. I remember Kevin Costner coming out, a thumbs up, being like, we win again.
Yeah, I'm a big Kings fan.
Big Kings fan, that Costner. I think they showed Sylvester Stallone in the stands at some point.
It was an event. It was amazing. It made hockey fashionable in a city like Los Angeles.
Might be the most fair weather town ever all of a sudden. Now, the Kings in the 21st century have won 2 Stanley Cups. One year they won 8 seed, lost no more than 4 games throughout the playoffs. An amazing Stanley Cup victory. Even then, they probably were not as popular as they were when Wayne Gretzky went to the Los Angeles.
Oh, no chance. There wasn't everybody packing out the stadium trying to be seen as a Kings fan.
I felt like the Celebrity Fest was some phony stuff. It was a good kind of a to-be scene. I mean, that's just how that scene's going to be in Los Angeles, I suppose.
Man, that was exciting. That really did change everything for hockey there.
They sold 4,000 to 5,000 season tickets at the Forum that first year.
That's how big Wayne Gretzky was. I feel like we missed out a little bit, though, because if the Oilers did not win that Stanley Cup after he left, you could have had some real Curse of the Bambino shit going on.
Yeah.
This was equivalent to selling Babe Ruth. Like, the best, most popular player in the league, traded not for assets, but for money.
And as great as he was, it showed that you need more than just one great one to make a team.
Because they did not win a Stanley Cup in L.A. with Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky says he could have won 4 more if he stayed with the Oilers.
Poor Luc Robitaille.
Yes, like you said, the Oilers did win a cup in 1990. Gretzky won the Hart Trophy first year with the Kings. But Pocklington has no regrets for that trade. He describes it as the greatest trade ever done.
Bullshit.
I mean, it's the most notorious trade ever done. I don't know if that's the same as the greatest.
I wouldn't even go that far. I mean, he traded the greatest. Maybe he's doing a little bit of wordplay here. That's the only way that statement makes any sense.
Well, Wayne Gretzky's the greatest, and therefore it's the greatest trade ever done.
The trade of the greatest. When he signed with the Rangers late in his career, that was the greatest free agent signing ever.
And that, of course, is the story of King's Ransom by Battleship director Peter Berg.
I feel like we need a little bit more of that Pure Moods music that they had went on through this entire documentary to just kind of get us in the right headspace.
Stretching out that slow-mo. Now, critically, the story is interesting. It helps that I am a hockey fan. But there was like a lot of like little things in it. And there were like Peter Pocklington, admittedly, he made this an enjoyable movie to me. But there was like some choices specifically involving Peter Berg being in his own movie. That just felt like it was unnecessary. The only time, like I said, that it was compelling was when he asked him how many cups he thought he would have won. Other than that, it just seemed like it was like, hey, look, it's me and my buddy Wayne playing golf.
There's a lot of shots of them on the sunny golf course in a documentary about the trade of the most famous Canadian hockey player of all time.
And those slow motion tracking shots at the very beginning, that brought it down. That's lame, corny shit.
There was a lot of unnecessary shots in this. Was he really just trying to fill out the hour?
That's what you could say. He did have to fill out an hour.
How many times do they show a stadium going dark? It was more than once, which is more than is necessary to get that point across.
Now, as we get to these criticisms, it's a worthy tale to tale, but where does he rate on the Herzog 1 through 5 rating scale? How many Herzogs would you give A King's Ransom by Battleship director Peter Berg?
I like the story. I think it's a good one to tell. The historical import of it being the first 30 for 30, something that's really culturally relevant, has become a phenomenon in among itself. I mean, there's 30 for 30 podcasts now. There's 30 for 30 movies. There's 30 for 30 shorts. It's like its own business right now, even after Simmons isn't associated with the project anymore.
Hence us being here on the Documenteers with the special 30 for 30 episodes.
Bringing in your sports talk radio hosts to talk about it.
The Sports Master.
But I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 2 Herzogs on your scale.
2 Herzogs. Interesting. I'm pretty much with you all the way. I feel like a 2 Herzog is like, this isn't great. And a 3 is like, that's a serviceable film.
Exactly. It isn't great, but it's not like this shouldn't have been made at all.
So I'm going to give it 2.5 Herzogs. Because I enjoyed it slightly more than I did when I first saw it, but it still doesn't put it over that, like, it still shows that there's some real criticisms. It's a democracy. So people are out there buzzing. They're saying, like, Bobby, your fucking Herzog scale is just the star scale with fucking Werner Herzog instead of stars.
Who said that?
Some motherfuckers out there. But let me tell you what. We combine our scores. That means...
Wait, I'm no math whiz here, but...
You put those together. Now, Stuart and I gave Jim and Andy Into the Great Beyond 4 out of 5 Herzogs. We both gave it that. That makes it 8 out of 10 Herzogs total. Therefore, let's do some math together.
We're going up to 10. You're springing a little trick on me here. I thought we were averaging it out on a 5 Herzog scale.
Well, it's individually a 5 Herzog scale, and then we combine like Voltron or whatever, Power Rangers or whatever.
Or like the Edmonton Oilers, post-Gretzky coming together as a team to win a Stanley Cup.
That's right. King's Ransom, 2 Herzogs from you, 2.5 from me. That is a measly 4.5 Herzogs out of 10.
For King's Ransom by Battleship director Peter Berg.
Congratulations, Peter Berg, on your low Herzog score. And that will do it for our very first 30 for 30 Documenteers episode.
Thanks for having me on, Documenteer. This was a good time.
All right, play some hockey. I'm just reviewing another documentary. I'll be out in a moment.